We're joined now by Craig Button. And Craig, the Vancouver Canucks, they're dead last in the NHL right now. So is it time to seriously consider trading Quinn Hughes, assuming that the earlier you deal him, the more the Canucks could get back?
So we know there's uncertainty around Quinn Hughes about is he going to be a long-term Canuck. But the Canucks find themselves in a very different place right now.
In the last 2 days, the Vancouver Canucks faced strong pressure from across the league. Calls came in fast, and some teams pushed hard, but the team held their ground. A major move almost started, then stopped right away. The story changed fast, and the choice Vancouver made pulled in the entire NHL. Inside the last 2 days, teams reached out to ask about Hughes. One team made a direct call to the Canucks to test if a deal could start. The call was confirmed, but there was no follow-up. There were no talks after that first step. The Canucks did not open the door. A longtime league reporter said, "I don't think anything is going on with Quinn Hughes right now." This statement made the team's position clear. There was interest, but no active movement. The Canucks held their stand, and the pressure did not stop there. Two more clubs showed interest. Both were looking for a top defender who could take major minutes. These teams have searched for strong blue line help for months. This week, they checked on Hughes. But again, Vancouver stayed firm and did not move forward. The Canucks also noted that Hughes was not part of any plans to move players. The team made changes with older players this season, but Hughes was not listed in any outgoing group. The team gave no sign that he was available. Quinn Hughes is 26 years old. He is signed through the 2026 to 27 season on a 6-year deal worth $47.1 million US. This gives the Canucks control for several more years. It also stops outside teams from applying strong pressure. A player with years left on his deal does not create a forced timeline. Hughes remains a central piece of the team. His ice time and role in key game moments show his place in the lineup. His contract also places him inside the team's long-term plan. These facts made this week's trade interest stand out. But the next part changed the tone again. When word spread that a call was made, other clubs showed interest. This is common in the league. When one team calls, others often follow. Teams that need defense depth looked again at Hughes. Yet the Canucks repeated their same answer. Another detail shaped the story. A league source said the team might reassess his status only if Hughes did not want to stay long-term. But there has been no sign of that. There has been no report of a change in his plan. The only firm fact so far is that the Canucks refused to enter trade talks. The timing also played a part. Teams often act before a deadline, but a club holding a core player under a long contract does not need to move fast. Hughes' contract gives Vancouver that space. The teams that asked about him this week have been active in other trade checks. They are trying to build their defense for late season stretches. They have also watched the contract space of other clubs. This pattern explains why they reached out. Still, the Canucks did not shift. Some analysts said, "You move Quinn Hughes," when talking about possible rebuild paths. But these comments were not tied to team plans. They were outside views. They added attention but did not reflect action inside the club. This brought the focus back to the central fact. Hughes stayed off every trade list the team worked with. He stayed outside every call the team explored with other clubs. Some clubs looked at their long-term defense depth and measured whether they should push harder. But the Canucks stopped those early moves. They gave no sign that they would begin a deal. One more fact added weight to the story. Hughes' contract does not allow for pressure from other clubs. There is no near deadline tied to his future. There is no risk of losing him for nothing soon. These details gave Vancouver more structure around its decision. All these elements led back to the result of the week. The Canucks refused to trade Quinn Hughes. Several teams reached out. A confirmed call was made. A reporter said there was no active movement. The team said he was not part of any outgoing group. His contract runs through 2026 to 2027, and outside interest did not change the club's position.
And I think last night is the kind of accumulation of a lot of different things, and last night's a great warning to the group what happens when you're not ready to roll.
Something just shook the Edmonton Oilers locker room. After a crushing 9-1 loss, Connor McDavid stood up and called out his own team. He didn't dodge, he didn't sugarcoat. He said the Oilers were flat, no energy, no emotion. Coming from the captain, that means something. What he said next set the tone for the rest of the season. The Edmonton Oilers are under pressure. They've played 16 games this season, and their record stands at 6 wins, 6 losses, and 4 overtime losses. That's not what fans or the team expected. expected. And after getting blown out 9-1 by the Colorado Avalanche, something had to be said. Connor McDavid said it.
Early on, obviously, we found an issue to bring some of that emotion, some of that energy to the game. That's not fighting. That's not anything. It's just bringing that energy, skating, a little bit more physical.
In his post-game comments, McDavid told reporters, "It's been flat. That starts with me as a leader. There's maybe not been enough energy, not enough emotion, and we have to find a way to bring some of that into the game." This wasn't just about one game. McDavid spoke about the team's attitude over several games. He said, "We all have a hand in bringing just a little bit more, emotionally, physically, and just to our game as a whole." McDavid has 22 points this season, 5 goals, and 17 assists, but he's also -6 at even strength. That shows even the best players on the team are getting outscored when they're on the ice. The loss to Colorado was Edmonton's worst home defeat since 2009. The Avalanche scored goal after goal, and the Oilers didn't have an answer. The team was down 4-0 after the first period, and it only got worse from there. This wasn't just a bad night. It was a wake-up call. The Oilers were supposed to be Cup contenders again. They reached the Stanley Cup final 2 seasons in a row, but right now, their play doesn't match that level. Over the last 10 games, their record is 4 wins, 3 losses, and 3 overtime losses. That's not terrible, but it's not what a contending team expects. Now, with McDavid calling for more effort and emotion, the whole organization is on alert. The message is clear. Things have to change now. McDavid's message wasn't just frustration, it was a warning, and it wasn't only for the player, it reached the coaching staff and front office too. When a captain speaks like this after a blowout loss, it signals a bigger problem inside the team. Coach Chris Knoblauch now faces pressure to respond. Line changes, goalie decisions, and defensive structure are all under review. The Oilers can't afford to let this slide. Their next games are critical. McDavid said, "We have to find a way to bring more." That starts immediately. McDavid's call for emotion matters. Hockey isn't just about skill. It's about fight. The Oilers haven't shown enough of it. They've looked flat, not just in one game, but over several. That's why his comments hit so hard. This also affects the fans. The Oilers have one of the most passionate fan bases in the NHL, a 9-1 home loss sting. And when your best player says the team isn't bringing enough, fans expect action. Behind the scenes, the organization must decide how to fix this. Trades, call-ups, system changes, it's not clear yet. But McDavid just put everyone on notice. He didn't blame others. He included himself, but he didn't stay quiet. His leadership now demands results. Not someday, but now. Edmonton's next games will say a lot. If they come out with speed, energy, and purpose, this could be the turning point. If not, bigger changes could follow. For now, one fact stands out. The Oilers captain just spoke louder than ever, and now the entire hockey world is watching how they answer.
Against our standards, and I thought we played with some pretty high standards today, and again, saying that, it doesn't guarantee a victory. It doesn't mean it's perfect. But I felt our intentions were there. We were organized in our 5-on-5 play, and it was a good game. I thought we stayed patient. It's unfortunate we don't get the 2-point, but a lot of positive.
Martin St. Louis made a shocking announcement to the Montreal Canadiens on November 8, 2025. The goaltending controversy exploded 24 hours earlier when Jakub Dobes cried after losing. His veteran Samuel Montembeault ranked second worst in the NHL statistically. St. Louis canceled practice immediately. He called Dobes into his office. The decision he revealed would alter everything. Dobes stopped 24 of 28 shots in the 4-3 overtime defeat. His record dropped to 6-0-1. The loss came when Jesper Bratt scored 93 seconds into overtime with a backhand shot through the 5-hole. Dobes took full responsibility for the team's first overtime loss of the season. "We played good enough to win, just not good enough from my side," Dobes told reporters after the game. "I don't know, just really hard. This is a tough one. Just sucks. It happened last year. It happened this year. Lose to those guys in OT. So just disappointed in myself. That's pretty much it." The emotional display shocked media members players present. NHL.com reporter Mike Morial witnessed the scene firsthand. Don't know if I've ever seen this before, but MTL rookie goalie Jakub Dobes, who entered this game 6-0-0, was literally in tears, blaming himself for the Canadiens' loss. Morial posted on social media, "We, the media, tried to console him, telling him to keep his head up. Kid is putting so much pressure on himself." Martin St. Louis addressed the situation during his press conference. "Everybody handles situations differently, and he took it hard," St. Louis said. "It's probably a big reason why he's at this level. He's probably demanding of himself. We'll talk to Dobes. He's played really well for us." Teammates rushed to defend their goaltender. Defenseman Noah Dobson spoke with reporters after the game. Dobson said, "But it just shows the character and passion in this room. Everyone holds themselves to a high standard and wants to do what they can to help the team win. But we know in the room he's been a backbone for us this year, so there's no need for him to do that and put it on himself." This situation placed St. Louis in a difficult position regarding his goaltending rotation. Samuel Montembeault, the presumed starting goaltender, has struggled severely this season. The 28-year-old carries a 2-3 record with a 3.82 goals against average and .842 save percentage through 5 games. St. Louis maintained confidence in his struggling veteran. "If you ask me if I'm worried, no, I'm not worried," St. Louis said. The coach continued defending Montembeault's abilities. "I didn't have a single idea in mind. We have 2 good goaltenders," St. Louis added. "Dobes is definitely having a good streak, but Monty is going to have streaks like that too. We're well equipped in front of the net." Dobes maintains elite statistics despite his first loss. He ranks 3rd in the NHL with a 2.25 goals against average. His .920 save percentage places him 4th among all goaltenders. The Czech netminder has started 6 of Montreal's last 8 games. Montembeault acknowledged his struggles publicly. "I know what I can do, and I've worked a lot the last 4 years to grow my game," Montembeault said. "Obviously not the best start so far, but we're going to keep working to get to where we were at." The goaltender revealed technical adjustments he's making. "I felt like during games I was shrinking a lot when guys were shooting or when I was trying to find pucks through screen," Montembeault explained. "I actually looked at myself in the glass the last practice, putting my blocker and my glove more outside and try to be more patient." Montreal sits 1st in the Atlantic Division with a 9-3-2 record. The Canadiens host the Utah Mammoth on November 8th. St. Louis must choose between the emotional rookie seeking redemption and the veteran fighting to regain his form.
Do we get it perfect? Not necessarily, because sometimes you want matchup, you want the right flow for your players as well. So sometimes you're caught in between and you try to make a quick decision on the spot, and you're going to make mistakes at times.
Martin St. Louis just sent shockwaves through the Montreal Canadiens. With one decision, the coach ended weeks of speculation about who controls the net. The announcement dropped like a live wire. Quick, clear, and final. The goalie order is no longer a secret, and the impact of this choice is already echoing across the NHL. St. Louis confirmed that Jakub Dobes would start in goal. The young Czech goalie entered the matchup undefeated, with 5 straight wins and a save rate near .940. His calm play and low goals against numbers have been key in early victory. Across the rink, veteran Samuel Montembeault carried a losing record and had allowed more than 3 goals per game. The numbers told a clear story, and the coach acted on it. The decision marked a shift in Montreal's net. Dobes had only joined the NHL the previous season, debuting with a 34-save shutout against the defending champion. Few goalies in team history had opened their careers that way. He followed that game with another strong performance against Colorado, building confidence each start. The team's staff and reporters began asking whether a true competition was forming between the 2 goalies. Montembeault, 28, has been Montreal's regular starter since last year. He played more than 60 games and kept his save percentage near .900. His experience made him the safe choice, but the team's recent struggles led to review. St. Louis said the team would rely on the goalie who gives them the best chance to win. He described both as good options, but added that internal competition was important for progress. Analysts described the move as the coach riding the hot hand. It wasn't a full change of starter, but it placed Dobes in the spotlight. Reporters noted that it showed faith in youth and performance rather than seniority. Fans online reacted instantly. Some agreed that the rookie earned it. Others believed Montembeault deserved another chance to reset. Earlier in the year, the Canadiens extended Dobes on a short contract worth just under $2 million, suggesting confidence confidence in his development. That deal now looks timely. Management is monitoring both goalies closely as the team adjusts through its early season schedule. For Montreal, the announcement turned a routine rotation into a headline. St. Louis didn't raise his voice or use big words. He just confirmed who would stand in the crease, and that single choice shook the team's entire goaltending picture. After the announcement, the Canadiens' camp grew tense. Inside the team, the message was clear. Performance now decides who gets the net. There are no long guarantees. St. Louis said the team must choose the goalie who gives the best chance to win right now. His words showed that results, not rank, will decide every start. Jakub Dobeš has created strong momentum. The rookie was drafted late, but rose quickly through the team's system. In his first NHL season, he recorded one of the best starts for any Montreal goalie in the last decade. His shutout in his debut made headlines across sports outlets. Reporters noted that only 3 goalies in Canadiens history had opened their career that way. Since then, Dobeš has been steady, showing consistency in games at home and away. Montembeault, on the other hand, has faced more challenges. He began the year with a high goals against average and admitted that his timing and positioning needed adjustment. He told reporters, "It's just getting back to the basics, breathe and stay in the moment, and then just play my game." St. Louis responded by saying, "I'm not worried that Sam is going to stop puck. The way Dobeš is playing buys a little time for him to work on his thing." The organization has also made moves that show Dobeš is part of its future. His new contract runs for 2 years and pays just under $2 million. For a developing goalie, that is an early vote of confidence. Meanwhile, Montembeault remains under a longer deal, but now faces higher competition for start. Team insiders reported that players have supported both goalies. During practice, teammates said the energy between Dobeš and Montembeault remains professional. There is no public sign of tension. Still, reporters say the locker room feels the change. Every player knows that goalie confidence can shift the tone of an entire season. When St. Louis stood before the microphones, he didn't frame the move as bold. He called it consistent with the plan. Yet, for many around the team, it was the kind of plan that changes the story. The Canadiens now have a young goalie who's winning, a veteran who's adjusting, and a coach who refuses to settle for past records. The decision that began with one quiet statement has turned the Montreal crease into the most watched spot on the team.
Face off in the offensive zone for the Hawks. There's a shot there. Oh, he scores a hat-trick goal for Connor Bedard. And here come the Hats.
Connor Bedard didn't just play his best game, he dismantled expectation. Every shot carried precision, every shift felt charged, and his third goal silenced any remaining doubt. But behind that celebration, whispers began around the NHL, and what insiders noticed after the final horn has left everyone waiting for answers.
To Ottawa, Doc scores! Banks it in off Walmart. On the rebound on a delayed call, Colton Doc makes it 1-0 Hawks.
The Blackhawks struck early inside the United Center in Chicago. At 6:47 of the first period, Colton Doc picked up a rebound off a Louis Crevier drive and scored from the left faceoff circle. According to NHL.com, the puck came off the right point and Doc hammered it home for the 1-0 lead.
Pozzetta scores! Might have been tipped. Crevier with the shot off the boards. Hawks make it 2-0.
Less than 7 minutes later, at 12:06, Crevier himself made it 2-0. He retrieved the puck outside the right circle and fired a one-timer which deflected off Ottawa defenseman Nicholas Matinpalo and into the net.
And it's 3-0 Hawks.
Who's got a good feel to his game, but it's a face-off win by Frank Nazar. That's the key. Then you go D to the winger to the...
Then Bedard got rolling. At 17:53 of the first period, Bedard scored on the power play. He took a pass from Andrei Burakovsky, fired a wrist shot from the right circle past Linus Ullmark for the 3-0 lead. Into the second period, Bedard struck again. At 2:58, he carried the puck into the zone, used a toe drag move, and snapped a high slot wrist shot past Ullmark, making it 4-0. The Senators mounted a brief rally. Jake Sanderson scored at 4:58 when a 55-foot slap shot caromed off the end boards and Spencer Knight's left elbow before going in. Michael Amadio scored at 7:09 when he skated from behind the net and lifted the puck overnight. Then at 8:31, Tim Stützle trimmed the lead to 4-3 with a wrist shot from the right circle on a 2-on-1 rush. But in the third period at 3:46, Bedard completed completed his hat trick. After a face-off win by Ryan Green, the puck came to Bedard in the left circle, and he scored with a snapshot. That made it 5-3. Shortly thereafter, at 8:24, Ryan Donato scored from the slot to push it to 6-3. Finally, Frank Nazar sealed it with a shorthanded empty net goal at 12:44 for the 7-3 final. Bedard's stat line: 3 goals and 1 assist, 4 points total. His first career hat trick came in his 169th NHL game. Chicago built momentum in this game with a strong start. They scored 4 times on their first 9 shots. From a tactical viewpoint, Bedard's goals came in 3 different situations: power play, even strength, and after a face-off win, underscoring his versatility. Coach Jeff Blashill of Chicago stated, "I think Connors had a great start to the year. He's done so many things the right way. He's defending hard. He's stopping on pucks. He's doing a lot of things that are winning hockey habits." Bedard commented after the game, "Just our whole team celebrates each other in moments like, and the fans' reaction was awesome. We have so much support. Obviously, you want to get a Hattie anywhere, but to get one at home is nice, and to have that support is unbelievable." From a franchise historical lens, Bedard's 4-point night tied him with Jeremy Roenick for the 3rd most 4-point games by a Blackhawks player before age 21. Only Dennis Savard, 4, and Bobby Hull, 5, had more. Meanwhile, Ottawa's goalie Ullmark played in his 300th NHL game. The Blackhawks now enter a season-high 6-game road trip following this home win. This performance comes at a time when Chicago is showing signs of momentum after a difficult period. Their 3 wins in 4 games reflect an upswing. Bedard's milestone shifts the narrative. For the Blackhawks, it marks not just a strong individual outing, but a potential turning point for their offense. His ability to score at a high level before age 21 places him in elite company within the franchise's history. The Senators, despite coming into the game riding a streak, were unable to maintain their earlier form. The heavy travel and back-to-back schedule may have factored in, but Chicago's sharp start set the tone.
Suzuki. Caulfield almost stripped by Catton. Caulfield drags it. Tries to stuff it. Decord can't get it. Cole Caulfield wins it in overtime.
Cole Caulfield just dropped a bombshell on the NHL. In a single rush, he destroyed the Seattle Kraken's comeback and silenced an entire arena. But this moment was more than one goal. It showed how Montreal is changing fast. The young core is no longer learning. They're leading. With Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slavkovsky rising together, the Canadiens' future is starting to look completely different.